Hey, Chase. Ring, ring.
What up, dude?
How we doing, man? I just want to see how your day was going.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm getting divorced, but I'll be okay.
Well, this call's going to go better than that divorce. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I always feel good hands with you.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I wanted to hear a little bit more, though, about what this project was that you had emailed me about.
Yeah, so Premiere is editing. It's editing software, as you probably know.
Premiere.
Have you used Premiere?
A locked in Premiere, dude.
Okay, that's important to us. We actually want someone that knows about the software they're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 72 of the 505 podcast. We got a special one today because the boys are all here again and we got a one-handed crack to start us off. Out of 30 for the table, has to be off.
Can't start it on the table.
Can't start it on the table.
It took a lot of flack.
Lots of chatter from the cheap seats on that one.
This is legal?
Yep, this is legal, and I'm going to show you what a 9.5 looks like. Dude, again, look at that. No dent whatsoever.
I didn't dent, but I hesitated.
You hesitate.
I hit a hesitate.
What do you give yourself? I wasn't really looking.
I have done way better. I'll give myself a 6-1.
Okay. Kostas, start us off. Don't ruin this.
Because I kind of nailed the second thing.
But you didn't put the fucking top back. Just sorry. Rookie hour. 5-4. Keon, throw it in the corner. Let's see what you got over there, big cat. Now I can see it. Yep, I can see it.
Hand blind.
Sounded good.
Oh, spin it for me, big dog.
Keon. Jesus Christ.
You dent a baby. I shouldn't have called myself out,
dude.
You got to give him.
Can we start the podcast?
Comments.
4-9.
What are we giving him?
Comments. Let him know. But I am giving it a 4-9 from the Big Rock downtown. Good job.
Dude.
Hey, let's go. Hey, if you're just tuning in, do us a favor. Please go lob a like. It helps us out so much more. So much more than you think, dude. Give us a like. Let's get 100 likes on there, dude.
Caress the like button.
Dude, and if you're listening on audio and you prefer audio, go over to YouTube, give us the like real quick, and then listen to audio only.
Just to see what we look like. I got a mullet now. Yeah, actually, screw it over YouTube just to check this out.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's just back to my roots, baby.
You're flying.
Yeah.
So fast.
I can fly, dude.
Dude, you're pretty aerodynamic.
A guy bought me a free bottle of wine just because I was checking out with the mullet. He couldn't believe it. His name was Stevie J, dude.
Shout out to
You were so hyped to tell me that
Chase
story.
goes, Stevie J. It was awesome. Dude, awesome, sick name.
Chase, I'm cooking breakfast this morning, right?
Okay.
Got a knife on the table.
Uh-oh.
And barefoot.
Stabbed his foot.
Barefoot in the apartment. And I opened actually a box I got on the table, some pants. And so I set it back on the thing. And I knew when I set it back, I said, should I set that there? And the answer was, fuck yeah. And I actually saw that knife falling in slow motion towards my bare ass foot. Just sticks it right in the top of the toe. Doesn't go out.
Wait, the knife went in your toe?
Oh, stuck, dude. Just, and I
No way.
I looked down and I'm like.
Wait, did it hurt?
Oh, it hurt like a son of a bitch. But I'm like, well, what can I do? So I just took it out, just shot blood out of the foot. And I'm
Which
like,
toe?
The big left one. So at first I was like, dude, I'm fucking made of metal, dude. I'm not even fazed by this, dude. Take it out, go put a Band-Aid on, gushing blood everywhere. I'm like, no, I'm totally fine. I'm walking fine. I'm not walking fine. I'm not walking fine anymore. Yeah. So there's a pretty nice little chunk out of my toe.
Kicks in.
Yeah. Toughness.
Going to shock.
Then, dude, then I'm going to Ralph's. This is like 20 minutes ago. We're going to Ralph's. Octopus Lover, the pussy PSA guy, on the corner of the street. Dude, I'm driving by and I'm like, pussy, and I was like, I shouldn't have said that. The windows were closed, but he like looked at me like, what the fuck was that guy looking? I broke my neck, dude. I was like, that's a pussy PSA guy.
That's great.
Yeah, so that was how my morning went.
Nice,
my foot's feeling okay.
Solid
Good
day.
to see you.
Solid day.
We're gonna call Braden 9 toes from now on.
9 toes.
Missing one.
Dude. You're going to Oppenheimer? Mm-hmm. When?
The Heimer tonight.
You hitting the hammer?
The Heimer. 10:30 p.m. tonight.
10:30. Oh,
IMAX, dude.
Here's the thing.
Tell me.
Braden, 11, 12, we'll be asleep.
No chance.
No ifs, ands, or buts. And then, so
Dude,
who are you going with?
I'm a sketch boy. I invented it. I live in the night,
the
dude.
The Kryptonite of Sketch Boy Hours is a movie. Who are you going with?
Chloe.
Yeah, dude. Here's what's going to happen.
I made her drink a Celsius at like 8 o'clock.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Chloe's going to wake you up and you'll be like, oh, yeah, that was crazy. I love when you do that, too. You watch movies, and you wake him up and you're like, no way. And you're like, dude, you've been sleeping for 45 minutes.
I'm going to wake up tomorrow, ask Braden how the movie was. He goes, dude, so good. I'm like, dude, what are some details? Like, man, I don't want to spoil it. You're going to have to go check it out for yourself. Meanwhile,
I'm excited.
He doesn't remember.
It's funny. So that script came along, right? And it was Mr. Christopher Nolan. I think Jonathan Nolan, his brother, probably helped. And they were bidding it out. And we were in the running at one point, right?
Yeah.
We were like, the thing is C70 versus IMAX. Chris was pitching the IMAX thing, and they were like, "Can C70 shoot in IMAX?"
And we said, "Yeah."
And we're like, "You mean 4K, right?" You know?
Yeah. What's your sensor size?
Yeah. 4K, bitch. It's like, dude, run and gun. We'll make it for $2,000. Yeah. Okay. Total. Just give us a real bomb.
They really thought.
We'll just like make a nuke, and all 1950 of it goes to the bomb. $50 for a C70 rental and some water.
There's a lot you can do with.
We go to the fireworks stand down the street. We're like, we need everything,
dude.
We hit up Ryan Cal again.
We should try to make a YouTube video about making Oppenheimer for under $1,000. It'd be so funny.
That would be a good bit.
It's like you, me, and Kostas and Keon.
Just running in the desert. We acting it, shooting it.
The whole nine.
The bomb is just like a fucking firecracker.
Like a sparkler.
But it's really miniature.
It's like, do you ever make...
Dude, that'd be so funny.
Just use a macro lens, dude. It'll be good.
Dude, come on.
Yeah, we could have done that.
Macro to, fucking speaker and macro to micro. So I'm on a shoot. I was just on another macro video, dude. It's just blowing all the rage, right, dude. Like fucking probe lenses everywhere. Dope shoot, really fun. There was a warehouse with lights coming in it. Haze, dude. Haze fucking rips.
Yeah.
If you have lights coming into a house, haze the shit out of it every time. Looked super cool.
You know when haze doesn't rip is when you're trying to shoot. Yeah, when you're breathing. When you're trying to shoot a concert.
Yeah. Oh, you want it's too much.
As little haze as possible
because it just gets in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying. But okay.
Inside haze rips.
Not to get right into it, but this fucking blew my mind. So this producer was on the shoot. She was producing our shoot, but then she was like getting ready for her next shoot. She was bidding out photographers for I think a full day shoot. Not a commercial shoot, an event shoot, right?
Meaning she was getting
bids from photographers, seeing how much they would charge for this thing. Okay. She's very talented, experienced, really smart person. That's going to come in because it's crazy. So she's like, I got to go make a call. I'm like, cool, I got it. Don't worry. Makes a call, comes back. And she looks like, she's like kind of not to giggle. And she was like, I called 2 photographers. They're both fucking great. They'll nail it, either of them. The first one quoted me $500 and the other one quoted me $10,000. And I was like, which one are you going to go with? And she was like, 500 guy is way too low. He's like, I don't know like what he's doing. He's like, the 10,000 guy, he had an assistant. He was going to like tether, like, you know, so you could see live photos. She's like, I'll probably go with that guy. And I was like, that is fucking, first of all, I was like, $10,000 for an event is fucking insane. Yeah. But if you're a producer, you have the budget, you just want it to be good, right? Mm-hmm. Why would not go with a guy that's promising you more shit, right? And he just said a bigger number. She literally was like wanted, I think, the 500 guy, but it was so low that she just assumed he sucked.
Which is fair.
Which is totally fair, right? Yeah. And she's like, he'd probably be like unprofessional or some bullshit because he quoted me like the lowest number I've ever heard. And the other guy quoted a ginormous number. And she's like, I have the money for that. I guess I'll just do that. It fucking was crazy, dude. And it just shows how much fucking important, dude, this shit is.
Well, when you say a price though too, it's a direct connotation with what your brand is. Yeah. You know, do you want to be Walmart? Do you want to be Louis Vuitton?
Right.
You know, and like if you're on an expensive shoot, you know, and you're a producer and your job is fucking riding on this person, crushing it, being good, putting those stills up on the billboard, you're gonna be like, fuck it, spend the money, dude. Every time.
And so and this guy probably gets that. He probably gets paid that much a lot. Yeah. You know? And that's crazy to me. And the other guy was like, I really want this. I'll probably say a low number because I need the bread. And now he's not going to get it because it's too low.
That's insane. It's an interesting as we go into this whole guide on pricing today. Yes.
I will also say maybe the guy who charged or bid $500 as their rate, I think he didn't do a good enough job as to like understanding maybe the level of like the event that he was going to shoot. And like, you shoot yourself in the foot by bidding too low sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
I think there's a lot of clients too that when they go get all these different bids from these different companies, a lot of the time they're just gauging price. So they're like, okay, well, we can get this guy at this rate. Like the really good guys are here and then the crappy ones are here. We don't even want them because they're not even going to compete with these bigger dogs. Yeah. And they might not even be that much better.
And you got to know who you're talking to. Because if he was talking to a mom and pop shop and the guy said 10,000, mom and pop would laugh at him. Yeah, right?
They would have laughed.
And they would have like, okay, $500, that's like how much we have. And that guy would have gotten it. But you got to know who you're talking to and you got to know how much to charge you. And you got to know your fucking worth, dude.
Definitely.
There are quite a few factors that come into play when determining your price when you're setting out, you know, what your rate is, right? So we're going to go through some of those factors because people just think that like, oh, I'm shooting an event or I'm shooting something else like music or sports or whatever and be like, I don't know what to charge, like, okay, $500 or $1,000. But there's quite a few things that you should take into account when determining what your price is as a photographer or videographer.
So this is the 505 comprehensive pricing guide.
Now, don't ever say we didn't do shit for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I expect some fucking love in these comments, dude, because this is shit that we had to F up a ton of times. I got wrecked on price for years. We've been doing this for like 10 years. You know?
guys also spent like an all night writing this.
Oh yeah, dude.
I was not.
We've been grinding on this guide for you guys. So please, dude, smash the fucking like button, dude.
Hey, you know what?
Dude,
it's time to go.
I'm taking it off, dude. I need you guys to leave a like,
episodes.
leave a comment for us because it does help a lot. But I have so many crazy stories for you of
I'm excited for
things
this one.
that we've messed up on price. But I'm gonna give you a few things that go into your price. So you got length of time you've been in this industry, right? So your experience, how long you've been a photographer, the different types of jobs that you've worked on. If you work with a big client, you can sometimes leverage them when you're working with different clients. If you know that name is someone that is notable in the industry, you might be able to leverage that to go and get more money. What's something else that would help you with price?
Well, going off directly what you said, like if you have done something, if you're good at something and you've made something that this new client is looking for and you can prove, like they just want to know that it's going to turn out okay, right? So if you've done, for example, like a cool macro shoot, right? And you have that in your reel and they like, okay, that guy has the guy that can do the macro shoot, you can charge more because they know for certain that you'll be able to give it to them and they're down to give you that much money. So you can prove it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I also think what comes into play is like how long this shoot's gonna go. If it's like a 4-hour day, or if it's an 8 or a 10-hour day, and if you have to hire anybody to help you with this stuff, you got to hire a lighting guy or your production assistant. Like in the beginning, too, something that we were talking about last night is like I've hired like our friend Luke to come help me with sound one day, and he was just like walking around with this sound with the pole, and I'm like, yo, dude, you're doing great. Just like make sure it doesn't peak. Like
sometimes it's gonna sound fucked up, but you can charge more if you bring someone, right?
100%.
It's like that guy that was charging 10,000 was bringing an assistant and the other guy wasn't. And like that assistant can be your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your brother, who cares, dude? But just like, and then you can just, hey, here's $500 to hang out, and you can charge them, the client, $1,000 for it.
This is funny. When we were in Bali, the first time ever, we got a resort to trade us for stay. And so we had like 5 days of stay for like a few videos. And so we're sitting at dinner and they hired this photographer guy that's there. And so we're talking to him and he goes, yeah, I'm taking videos and photos of the rooms. And I'm like, well, that's what we're fucking doing. What are you, who's the, like Spider-Man? Who are you, big dog? And so he's like, I walk into the room that he's in. Holy shit, dude. He's got a jib crane thing in a hotel room, dude. He's got all this crazy shit. Like, I couldn't even explain. They had 2 rooms reserved for him for his gear.
Nice.
It's just a photo and video person doing 15-second spots and stills. So, and I'm like, yo, what are you charging them? He said 25,000. And I'm like, okay, so I'm doing it for the free stay thing. So how do I get into like the 25K? But we had this running joke. We're like, dude, you just got to bring a bunch of stuff, set up stuff. You just got to set up stuff in the rooms, dude. Seriously. And I think that as you get into higher budget stuff, you'll notice when you go on a set that they're paying a little bit more money for, there's more lights. Yeah. There's C-stands everywhere. Sandbag guys are running around like talking on walkie-talkies and shit. You don't even know what they're doing. There's like, there just is more people. But also the higher up you go, usually people are more specialized at their thing.
So you need more stuff.
You need more stuff to make the thing happen.
Really quick. I won't tell stories this whole time, but it just reminded me of a story that just happened. Actually, the last shoot I was on, I'm kind of boys with the guy that like runs the whole production company that did like the fucking broadcast spot, right? And he's working with his new DP for the first time. He goes, I never worked with him. And he goes, he really wants this crane. He's like, I don't want to give him the crane. He's like, cranes are expensive. They take forever. He's like, we don't really have budget for the crane. He's like, but I don't want to cut this guy's legs off before I see what he can do with the crane. He really wants the crane. He's like, so I got him the crane. And I just thought it was so funny. He's like, I don't want to give him the crane. But I mean, and it costs more money, but this DP is like, he's a big deal. And he was like, I need a crane to do my shit. And he probably charges a lot more because he's like the crane guy, you know?
Made it happen. Made that cool shot.
He brought a lot
of
shit, really.
Brought some cool stuff, dude. Also, you never want to like bite off more than you can chew with this stuff. Right. Be very confident. Like, you know, imposter syndrome might be something that kicks in for you whenever you do charge a little bit more money. And you should be upping your rate as you kind of get into this game year after year. You know, you're working with bigger and better stuff. But it's really important to remember like, yo, if you mess the thing up, you mess the shoot up, your name is the only thing that you really have, like, to, you know what I mean? So don't mess up your name. You know, you can't go back on that one. Can't go back on your name. So always try to do the best thing that you possibly can.
Going off that, to streamline back into this, like, yeah, if you have nice gear, like if you're shooting it on like a really nice cinema camera for video or whatever versus like a tiny little Dizzler, you'll be able to charge more because it'll be higher quality. You'll have more expensive shit that you invested that you need to get paid back for.
Or even doing social media content, you know, sometimes you can just get away with shooting it just on your phone, or you're like, oh, I'm gonna actually bring my pro camera. That's gonna cost a little bit more. Technically, you're doing, you know, the same amount of work because it's just iPhone versus pro camera, but because you have a nicer camera, instead of shooting on an iPhone, you can charge more.
And in this industry, you're supposed to get paid per day for the gear you bring.
Yeah, definitely. Genuinely. And as you know, get more into this, you'll work with different clients that have different budgets, right? You might be doing a very similar process for the client for $5,000 versus the client for $15,000 or $25,000. It might be a very similar thing, very similar end product, very similar deliverables. It just matters more for this client. They have more budget allocated for it. They might be a big company like Sprite or one of the big makeup brand companies. They're like, oh, this is just casual for us. 75,000 is what we spend for a video shoot or whatever. So something to realize that, like, as you get more into this, the bigger brands have more money allocated to make cooler and bigger and better things.
We're also going to be getting into very specific numbers with you guys, and know that, you know, for different industries, you can charge different amounts of prices. And this is kind of also like, even though we're giving you specific numbers, it's a generalization and a ballpark. Like, you know, different clients have different budgets. So you're going to be able to make, even if you're doing maybe the same amount of work, like you were saying, Braden, like you'll be able to charge or make different prices depending on each client.
Back to the nitty gritty, just like quick things to think about.
Tell me.
So you're doing a video shoot. Think about, are you going to have to edit all this shit, right? Because that's going to factor into your pricing. You should have a day rate for editing on top of the actual video that you shot. Deliverables, like how many videos do they need? Because that's going to make your editing way longer. And it's also just more work. Like if I'm giving you 10 things, you better be giving me more money than if I was just giving you one.
Absolutely.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You also need to think about too, like the cost that you say the final number, right? Say it's like $1,000. It's not actually $1,000. Insurance, taxes, dude. You're actually not getting that big final number that you think, or if you have to hire somebody. So every time you're about to do a shoot, before you get on the phone with them, you need to have like an idea of where you think it would sit, but you can't give them a number until you've actually, you know, extracted all these questions that you're going to need answers to, that we'll get into here in a little bit.
A couple other things that come into play is location. Where are you, right? Are you in a major city? Are you in LA, New York? Or are you in, you know, middle America? Those clients in the major cities are probably going to have bigger budgets. So just you know, someone might be doing the same work in two different cities. One's a major city, one's maybe not such a major city, doing the same amount of deliverables, but the person in the major city is able to charge more for their work simply because, you know, the client has a bigger budget.
And there's more competition.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you one that's going to save your life on pricing. Okay. Wherever you're at, whatever skill level you're at, whether you're $100 videos or $2,000 videos, photos, whatever, you want to have what's called a minimum level of engagement.
Yes.
And this will be extremely helpful for you as you get on the phone with these clients, because they're going to get on the phone and be like, hey, you know, Mike, what's that going to cost? And you're going to say, listen, I think it's going to cost between this and this, but my minimum level of engagement to work with me is actually X, $500, $1,000, $2,000. And so you're basically setting, hey, if you can't hit that number, let me know now, no hard feelings. And you can, I'll send you to someone else that I know, but I won't be able to get this job done for less than this number, whatever it's going to be for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really important number to have in mind. It
is, because then it's like, you don't get wrapped into doing something you don't want to do. And that's the last thing I want to mention about price. And it factors into minimum level of engagement. And this is genuine. It sounds silly, but I'm genuinely telling you guys, is this going to be really fun or really fucking not fun?
Totally.
Yeah.
Because if it's really not fun, I'll be like, I'll get bid to shoot. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to charge you way more. Like genuinely, because I'm like, I don't really want you to say yes to the number I'm about to tell you, because I don't want to do this. And if they say yes, then you're like, well, sure, I'll do it. You know,
I'll save some money on that.
Yeah, it's almost like opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Like, is this going to be fun? And is this maybe something that I can leverage later on to get more work? Is this a great portfolio piece?
And those are sometimes maybe you would dip under your minimum level of engagement if it sounds like fucking rad. But those are the only really instances. And then, yeah, again, if it's not fun, just like price the shit out of it, because you don't want to do it.
I have a specific example for that, which we'll get into later. Some more like nitty gritty things to think about as far as expenses, right? Props, models, special outfits, makeup artists, location rental fees. Those can all travel.
Licensing for the actual spot. Gas, dude. Yeah, if you're traveling, this was funny. Someone the other day hit me up and was like, hey, I have to travel like 4 hours for this shoot, but the client said they'd travel me. I go, is your body physically in the car for 4 hours? Right. Yeah. I'm like, then the travel fee still happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're not going to get an 8-hour driving day and then we're only going to shoot for 2 hours. I'm not getting charged for 2 hours.
You're getting paid for the amount of time you have to spend on the job, whatever that looks like.
Exactly. And you, in theory, right, like if you were in music or if you were in sports or something and you're traveling with, for a job, you're not working that day. You're traveling that day. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you need to be compensated a portion. We'll talk about the nitty gritty numbers of that in a little bit.
I was working for a outdoor furniture company. I was doing social media content. Everything was filmed on the phone. I was actually doing it with Braden's girlfriend, Chloe. Something that I incorporated into my rate was like pricing for the models, because it's like, what am I just going to shoot the furniture? No, I need like people there sitting on it, interacting with it for the videos, but I incorporated that into my price. And that's just something, it's just a very specific example of like what to include into your budget.
And it's also smart because that shows if you give a client a breakdown, it's like, this is going to be $10,000, but I already thought of some cool stuff like a fog machine and this equipment and models. They're like, oh, this is going to be a better product. And I see why it's more expensive. Right. And that also will honestly get you the job.
And when you get into, charging like, let's say $2,500 plus $5,000, oh my God, this is a retainer for potentially like $7,500, $8,000. You look at that number, and if you've never been paid that before, you're like, holy shit, I'm about to be making $8,000 a month.
Right.
But that's why it's so important to take into account the expenses, everything that you're going to have to pay out of your own pocket that comes into play when creating this content, because that number that you see isn't always like, it's not going to be what you take home.
Yeah, and wrap that into the price that you charge.
Dude, the first job that we ever did for like almost 10K, I remember that that was a job that I didn't put revisions in. So like a good 36 rounds. That was super sick. Also on top of that, they told me that they wanted motion graphics then. Well, I don't do fucking motion graphics. So I found a guy that does motion. I said, yo, Rick, how much is this going to cost? He says, like $2,000. I said, okay, great. We'll put that in there. So I tell him $2,000, whatever. He goes and gives me all these mock-ups. They don't like them. They said, throw them out. I said, that's great. I'll have to pay him the $2,000. Fuck me. So, dude, I paid him this guy $2,000. It just sucked. And so, like,
you're a good guy, though.
Little things like that will stack up, though, and you're not paying attention. And then at the end of it, you're like, damn, I'm not left with like a whole lot here. And this was way more work than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
You brought up two really interesting points. You brought up licensing and you also brought up insurance. And this is something, while we were doing kind of like research for this project, I didn't really know like what the industry standard to charge for insurance is. So apparently it's 2.8%.
That's every job, dude. Every job you'll see at the bottom of a production company or an agent, whatever, they're going to put 2.8% for insurance.
Yeah.
Supplies. So like if I'm doing an editing job, if they want just like a project-based fee, I'll throw in supplies, which is hard drives, right? Yeah. I need like 2 hard drives.
True.
And you got to think of like everything that's going to cost you money. Yeah. And you just keep making that number a little higher because they got to pay you for it. And then when they see it, they're like, oh, that makes sense. Dude, I'll put on fucking food delivery. Because I'm editing,
for
bro.
Sure.
So I'm going to have to deliver food, or else, because if I wasn't on this job, I'd cook myself. It'd be a lot cheaper. But I'm on this job, I got to deliver Sweetgreen to my house.
Boom. You
to save
cook,
time, because I'm editing fucking 12 hours a day.
Dude, you're cooking.
Exactly. Some other things to think about, I guess, licensing, right? So this was another thing that I didn't really know until we talked to Paul on one of our podcasts. And he said industry standard is about 10 to 15% for licensing. So if you're working with a brand, let's say you're working with like a big makeup brand like Ulta, right? And they want to license your work, you charge them about 10 to 15%, which is the industry standard to be able to give them licensing rights.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Going off your minimum level of engagement, and we talk about driving to the shoot, driving back, all that stuff factors in on a half day rate as well, which is why I think you wrote this down. I thought it was so clever. Half day rate doesn't mean half price. It should be at least 60% of your full day rate, because you still got to fucking show up. You got to drive home. You have to prep yourself for the day. It's really like,
they don't get a deal. They don't get a deal. Exactly.
Right.
You're still working pretty much. You're prepping 2 hours before.
Right.
You're going to dump footage after. Like
which
your whole
you
day.
You have to do if it was a full day.
Your whole day's washed.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
gone. You know, so it's not exactly like a 50% thing. The other thing too to think about with this stuff is just the different pieces of like documents you need if you're working with somebody.
Yeah, tell us about the documents.
I'm gonna tell you about some documents, dude, because this is the
Dox yourself.
This is the worst thing that you guys want to do. I was working with this fitness guy when I started out, right? And I went abroad.
It was me.
Went abroad. Yeah, it was Coach Chase. I went abroad, and this guy owed me $400, and we had agreed via text that the videos that we were gonna make, a cool edit that like I had to go crazy on, was $400, and he was gonna pay me when they were posted, which was also bullshit. Should have paid me when they were done. This dude didn't post them for like 6 months. So I'm abroad, dude. I'm sitting there in a club, fucking Vienna. I look at my phone. I go, that motherfucker posted that video. So I text him. I go, yo, where's that $400 Venmo, boy? Like, what are we doing here, man? And he's like, I don't think it's worth that.
What? After?
I'm like, dude, oh my God, why are you playing with me? And so then I called him. Guy was like, it was there's a story for another day. Anyways, he didn't want to pay me the $400. Said, I'll give you $200. I'm like, you're a piece of shit, dude.
What
like,
a literal dick.
Yeah, so anyways, like,
and $200 when you're abroad is like a lot.
It was a lot, dude.
Yeah,
I was drinking like boxed wine, and I'm like, come on, dude, help me out. Anyways, doesn't give me the rate, whatever. And I didn't have a contract in place, so I didn't have any piece of paper that was like binding us to this agreement. It was just a text message. So I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna take it. I'm never gonna work with this guy ever again. But it really taught me a lesson of every time that I work with someone, no matter if it's for $250 or if it's for $1,000, use a contract. An example the other day is Chloe was going to work for somebody, freelancing on the weekend, whatever, and they were like, yeah, we actually don't do contracts because we don't think that's just a little too professional for us. And I was like, tell them to kindly kick fucking rocks,
literally,
dude. Red flag nation. If they don't want to sign a contract, basically all the contract has in it, you guys can go look this up on ChatGPT, or you can go to LegalZoom. I've hired an attorney to make my contracts, but basically what's going to happen in you got to be prepared, dude. You got to be prepared. What's going to happen in that contract? It's going to be a bunch of legal jargon about the licensing agreements for all of this footage, how they can go use it, right? Different things for, hey, I'm going to actually, this is like when your first payments due, all that good stuff is going to be in there on the contract. The other thing that you should look at is called a statement of work. It's kind of similar to a contract, has a lot less legal jargon, and it'll basically just have, hey, this is what we're doing for you. This is what you're doing for us. You're going to pay us on this day. You're going to pay us our second payment on this day. You're also going to have a work back schedule in there that's going to say, hey, we're going to get you V1 on this day. We'll get you V2 on this day. We need feedback in between on that day. Huge one, because if they don't get you feedback and they have a deadline they're trying to hit with something, you're going to get screwed over.
And you can point back to say, that was your fault,
Your fault. You messed this up. You guys didn't give us feedback in time. Boom. And you flex on them, right? That's the statement of work. And then you guys both sign at the bottom. Nothing too crazy.
Going off of that,
tell me.
Just going back to like creating specifically social media content, really specific things that just because that's the kind of work that I've been doing as of lately, to include into your contract is like little things like copy, who's coming up with captions, and like who's posting the stuff.
Stuck with it.
Because just because you're creating the content for the brand or the business doesn't mean you're the one posting it. And that's also just something to incorporate into your contracts and statement of work.
And once it's all said and done, you need some Brad, dude. You send them an invoice. Okay? Yep. Invoice on it just has like your address, your company's name, their address, their company's name, and how much bread they owe you and how they can pay you. And that is the pretty much wraps in a bow all the different pieces of shit that you're gonna. And one more thing, certificate of insurance. If you're doing anything in a building that's gonna need your insurance, or if you're a music photographer, most of the music venues will require a proof of insurance to even walk into the building to photograph or whatever.
Also, going off of why contracts are important is it's really hard when you're working with a client to know when to charge more, right? When to have that conversation. Let's say you get a retainer client for, let's say 3 months or 6 months, and that 6 months, is up and they still want to work with you. And you're like, I've gotten better. I've upgraded my gear. We're getting into a flow of things. The content is like, it's better, obviously.
Right.
You can see that it's gotten better. Having that contract end gives you the ability to now renegotiate your terms, and it gives you that time period to be like, okay, we've worked together for 6 months. The contract's ending. We're going to sign a new contract, but it's actually going to cost you a little bit more to keep working with me.
Hell yeah, baby.
Or keep it the same. One more thing that I forgot about in the contract situation that we're talking about is just like an estimate. So if they come and they say, hey, we have like a $20K budget, we have $5,000, like what can that get us? You can go do a little homework, a little math, and then you send them over a line itemized thing. So basically every single line is a different price. Yeah. And it'll show like, oh, hey, this is how much the cinematographer costs. This is how much the producer costs. This is how much the PAs cost for the day. That's how much the lunch is going to cost.
Editing's going to cost,
etc. So you kind of just put it into a blank little thing. They can say, oh, okay, that's how much all this stuff costs. That's what we're getting for this number. Right. It's not just like pulled out of their ass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's really important.
Yeah. Keeps everybody accountable. Lets them know where all this money's going. Because they're not going to, if you charge someone realistically over like $5,000, they're going to be like, where the fuck?
Totally.
They want to see where it's going.
I would say that's about where the line is.
Right?
If you're charging over $5,000, they're going to need to see an estimate probably.
Yeah, I think so too. I think under, like Kostas and I were saying, under that, you're just showing up with the camera and like
you're probably editing a little.
That's what I mean. But like there's no like crazy pre-production phase. You're not doing all this.
You probably have like a couple calls on the phone.
Yes, couple calls.
You're not making a treatment really.
No, you're not making a treatment for under that. And you're basically showing up with your gear. You're shooting the damn thing. You're going home.
You can like explain what your vision on the phone that takes 30 minutes. But yeah, you're not making decks. You're not making estimates.
You're not going all crazy.
Yeah,
with
you're not getting don't get crazy, dude. Speaking of getting crazy though, let's break it down.
Okay.
I wish we had. Can we get like a sound effect like break it down?
Yeah.
You know, because it breaks down a lot of stuff.
You could be the breakdown guy.
Sick.
Wait, real quick, quiet. Record that so I have it.
Break down.
Nice.
Wait, break it down.
Maybe one more.
Break it down.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Nice.
Dude, so what goes into the breakdown of these different rates?
Kostas?
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you a generalization of like where you should be as a photographer, videographer, your price, charging for like a day rate and an editor. And then after we give you where we think generally you should stand, I guess just in general, we're going to kind of break down a few specific niches within the photography video world and give you specific prices within that. Okay, starting off, photography day rate. If you're a beginner photographer for a day rate for a shoot, I would charge about $100 to $250 in that range. If you're intermediate, around $300 to $750. If you're an advanced or experienced photographer, $800 to $1,400. And if you're a professional, you're going to be charging about $1,500 or above.
Yeah, like pro shit. And that above can go high. Like I said, like 10 grand for that guy.
Whatever, yeah.
It just keeps going up.
Keeps on climbing. I think for video on the other side of it, it's a similar number, right? Like in the beginning, I would just throw out like, they'd be like, oh, what's this cost? I'd be like, $150. Yeah. And I would just see what they would say, what they'd say yes to. And then I remember one next job, they're like, how much? I'm like, $450. And they're like, great. I'm like, I'm not high enough, dude. I need to keep going up. So I started to kind of raise my rate. But the beginner is similar situation. Like you're charging like $150, $250 to come out, make a video. It's the whole 9 yards. Intermediate, you're like $300 to $900, right? You can get a really solid DP out here in LA for like $850, $900.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can get a great one out here.
I remember I talked to a DP. I'm like, what's your day rate? I was like, that's your day rate?
Yeah, there's a lot of good people in that range. And semi-pro will go like $1,000 to like $1,500, and then pro, $1,500 and above. These people are charging like
can get insane.
Can get insane, dude. These Hollywood people, but directors and whatnot.
It gets insane. But again, as you get higher, you're gonna have to add stuff. You have an assistant. You'll have a fucking crane rental, and you're gonna have to break it all down, treatments and everything gets involved over like $5,000 probably.
It'd be funny if like for every shoot, we need a crane.
We need the crane, dude. The crane, the crane was lit. Cannot have on wheels, so we're just moving and craning at the same time.
That's fun.
The director and the DP have worked together like 10 times. Like, dude, I've never wanted to give him the fucking crane, but like, I guess we're gonna have to give it to him this time, dude.
Dude, what do you think about for like editors?
All right, let's talk about editors. Again, beginning, it's like $100 to $200 for the day. I would say, I remember in college, so like a company would hit me up and be like, can you just like change like a couple things on this? And I'd be like, $100, dude. This is gonna fucking rock. I'm gonna have the best weekend ever if you give me $100 to do that quick. Seriously, dude. Madison, that's hospital drunk for $100. You really can, dude. Beginner to intermediate, probably $250 to $500 a day. I charged that for a while in college. Intermediate, $600 to $900. Expert, $1,000 plus.
Yeah.
The editing is interesting because it has a lower ceiling than these other two.
Yeah.
Where like a lot of people can get to 1,000, right? That's like about what I charge, but not a lot of people charge more than 2,000 a day. Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy for an editor. I mean, some people do.
Unless you're like VFX
unless
crazy.
You're like
Gibson Hazard or something.
Exactly. But like a lot of professional editors that are in like their 40s and have families, they charge like $1,000 a day and they work, they work almost every day of the year. So they make a good living. But like there's a lower ceiling on that.
Lower ceiling for like how much someone would pay you.
I've never seen editors be like, it's 10 grand a day.
That'd be
insane.
Yeah, you're getting a really solid editors at these agencies for like $1,500 a day. Yeah, they're pretty saucy at what they do.
Even like Nike commercials, it'd be like the best guy would bring in this guy named Tristan, who's fucking man. He's $1,500 a day, and I was like, yeah, that checks out. You know?
Yeah, and I also think that you can break it down too, like by the hour when you're starting out. It just kind of makes it easy because you're not at a place where you're like really value based pricing these clients. You're just doing like one-off little things.
Yeah, especially with editing, sometimes it's like, can you just like change the subtitles? Like that's 1 hour.
Sure,
and like when you're a beginner, that's like $30, usually 20 to 35. Intermediate, I'd say like 60 to 100 for an hour, and then expert 100 plus. And again, the reason it can't get that high is because when you're an editor, you're never going to make a treatment. You're never going to bring a crane. You're never going to, you know what I mean? And so like this stuff just doesn't get asked for. I need my camera on a crane, please. Or my computer.
To edit.
Yeah. So like that, and that's why, it's because you're never going to make like the pre-pro and the pro, because that's what they pay for, is the pre-production and all this extra shit that a video or photographer bring. Editor just brings their laptop and their brain. And that's, when you get good, it's about $1,500.
I've been meaning to talk to you guys about that. I've actually been thinking I need a crane for the pod clips. So.
Dude, a jib on like the pod intro would be so sick. I want to build one.
Soon.
Next up, you're kind of like a one-stop shop for a while. You're doing the whole 9 yards. You're the director, you're the editor, you're the DP, you're the the liaison
sometimes
with the client.
Take some fucking photos.
Yeah,
too.
you're taking some flicks sometimes, dude.
I think we still all do this every once in a blue moon.
You're doing everything you can to just make this work for as little money, or like the most money that you possibly can get, right? Like you're doing all the jobs, and you're saving a lot of money because you're doing everything, but also in turn you're not able to really like grow as much because you're not getting as much help on the stuff. You can only make it so good,
You can never price that much if you're a one-stop shop.
Exactly, yeah. You can, some people like they can get away with like $5,000 by themselves if they're like insane at what they do and they're making a really cool video. But a lot of the time, you're hiring a friend to like help you. You might need someone to like hold a light or hold like a scrim or something. You just never know.
Give us like a project-based breakdown for a one-stop shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that I owned a restaurant. Okay. I own like let's do a Five Guys here in town. I'm head of corporate.
So Five Guys, that's a big company.
Head of corporate. But this is just the one. This is for my specific store. Okay. This isn't for Five Guys corporate.
Got it. You just own.
I own the little Five Guys shop.
Got it.
Which you guys can make me some stuff. Okay. I'm looking for like a one-stop shop. I might ask you for like, can you do like 15 or 20 photos for me? And could you do, a little 1 minute video?
Do the photos need to be retouched?
Nope.
No retouching. Just send them over.
Just send them over.
The video, is it like motion graphics?
No, just a cool video ad.
How many? You bastard. Okay.
I don't really do this stuff very often, so I don't know how much it costs.
Is it a shoestring budget, would you say?
I'd say, we can play. We can play a little ball.
Right. Do you expect, what is like the conditions in the space? Do you need like lighting? Do you need like extra equipment to like make it pretty?
I don't really make the videos. I make the burgers.
Got it. So you don't know anything.
Don't know anything.
So I would recommend lighting since it's inside, which will, bring up the price a little bit, but it'll make a much better product. Minute video, that's like about as long as I go. That's as long as, a lot of things are, but I understand that you're just a guy with a shop.
Yep.
I'm coming 20 photos, 1 minute video. Okay. I'm shooting it and editing it.
Yep.
I would say, how many revisions? Probably 3 rounds you get.
2
rounds?
I only want 2.
You knock them down. Cool.
Don't even need 3.
So I would say it's going to be 5 days of editing. So I would charge you with the photos.
Yep.
$6,000.
You have yourself a deal, Ricky
My
Bobby.
Man.
Yeah, we're right in the ballpark. That sounds good to me.
Come on.
Dude, I'm free that day to shoot the photos if you want to focus just on the video.
Bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, if a photographer, I'll pay him $150 an hour for 1 hour.
There it is. That's great.
Yeah,
I think it's also really easy when you get on the phone with clients is to like bracket these numbers, right? So what I like to do is I'll throw out a range, and I always price anchor with my bigger number first. So I'll say, hey, I think this is going to be anywhere from like 7,000 to 3,000, and if they ask for why the discrepancy, it's like, well, if we spend more money, we can bring on bigger and better things. We can bring on more lights. We can get crane, dude. We can get a crane. So that's something that you can do, and it also lets them know, they kind of get an idea of like like where your brand sits. So like, okay, Billy here is comfortable doing a $7,000 shoot. That also makes me pretty comfortable for this $3,000 budget that we're going to give him, that he or she's going to crush this, you know? So you kind of give them a window to pick. Like, this is like the worst thing you could ever do is you get on a discovery call, which is the first call with the client, and you ask them all this good stuff. They want to do a video. They want to do 20 pictures. They want to do it big. And then you get off the phone, you're like, what the fuck price do they want to do this for, dude? They could do it for $50,000. They could do it for $500. You literally have zero idea. And so you have to get comfortable. And it's usually taboo in a lot of people's families to talk about money, but you need to get comfortable with just stating the value that you think for yourself, like what it is that you're bringing to the table and what you can do for this brand or for this business.
Yes.
Question.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking about pricing, like, is there ever a time you should offer a discount?
It's a great question.
What do you guys think?
I think that it really depends, because I'll go both ends of the spectrum for you. I'll go the one side that says never discount, okay? And that side is you're not discounting for new business, because they don't get a discount unless they're working with you on like a retainer basis, right? They're not. You're not giving them a discount, dude, because this is your business. You wouldn't go in. If I go into fucking Ralph's, I'm not going to tell the guy, I'll take $6 for the T-bone steak. He's going to be like, you're paying $40, dude. That's how much it costs. That's how much the steak costs, okay? They shouldn't be able to like lowball you like that. But on the flip side, if someone comes to you and they say, yo, Chase, I have $1,000 for this video. I know your day rate's higher, but that's what I have. Do you want to do it? That's a chance where you could discount if it wasn't in a space that you usually do and you want to do it. You're like, the fun thing. We talked about the fun factor, right? It's like, okay, I want to get into this space. I could get 3 sick clips for my reel. Maybe I get a social media piece out of it. I'll do it for a little bit of a discounted rate. I won't. And the best part is you don't have to tell anybody about it. You have to tell anybody about your discount.
Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. I'm like, dude, I'm
there. I'll pay you. I'll pay you to shoot. I will say, Too specific. Two specific examples that I personally have. One, I want to work with you guys to figure out what price you guys think, because I'm working on a proposal as we speak. But the other is the gym, Monarch, that I do social media for. They hooked me up with a free membership to their gym. Now, their gym is pretty expensive because it comes with unlimited personal training, physical therapy, access to a physician. You guys should sign up if you're in the area.
Christmas. Dude.
But when I first came to them with my price for doing social media content for them, they were like, we can't afford your monthly rate, but what we can do is offer you a free membership. And I was like, you know what? I'm trying to get bigger than Brandon over here. I'll take the free membership. So I bumped down my monthly rate of like what they actually pay me, but I get the same amount because they're offering me the gym membership.
And just make sure that commodity is sick, because I did the same thing for a fucking weighted blanket. And it was like... I was like, I'll charge you. This was like back in the day. Like 4 years ago, maybe 5. But your boy charged like $300 plus like a $400 weighted blanket that this company made. And the thing was just like a mermaid net, dude. It was so uncomfortable. I used it like 3 times. Now it's like in my mom's
you were
basement.
Like suffocating.
God, I should have never done it, dude. Yeah, literally, like if you put it on you and you just like, it's like literally like a net. You can't get out of it. It's the fucking
so
worst.
Okay, and then
small weighted blanket.
That's hilarious. Yeah, a lot of anxiety?
No, dude. I got anxiety from the goddamn thing.
Okay, so I wanted to work through this with you guys. So going off of a discount or like a sick opportunity, right?
Okay.
So my buddy Sam, who you both know, Tilly, shout out. He's working at a really cool hotel in Montauk in the Hamptons this summer.
Dope.
He wants to have me come out, make a video for them, and shoot some photos for some live music. So because he's like my good buddy and I really want to go out to Montauk because I've never been and it'd be really sick. Like they're going to put us up in the hotel, feed us, and do the whole thing. So I told him, I go, listen, this is like my typical rate that I would charge for all of these deliverables, but know that like I'm going to work something out with you because like it's a sick opportunity and I have a connection with you because you're my boy and I want to help you out. This is also a really cool thing for me to have in my portfolio. Anyways, the deliverables are a 1-minute video where you show off the hotel. I'm going to interview like the owner of the hotel and tell like the whole story of like why it's so cool and like the history of Montauk. So that's going to be like a 1-minute video.
Okay.
Then it's going to be shooting, I believe, 3 nights of music. So like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe that whole weekend they have music. So photos. And then he said potentially also 1 or 2 reels for Instagram. So you have a 1-minute video, 3 nights of shooting music, and let's just call it one Instagram reel that's like 30 seconds.
Okay, and Braden, let's do this where we give the price that we would say if it wasn't a sick opportunity, just so the kids, so we're not like discounting live, totally. It's confusing for everyone. And then we'll add like a 20% cool discount.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so I think...
you want to jam?
Yeah, so you want to do you got a video?
Yes.
He said a video, and how many stills?
A video with an interview, which requires audio, and sometimes, are you going to bring a light or no?
I probably should. I probably will. And then, potentially maybe some drone.
Yeah, I was thinking that I was going to ask that
drone
next.
of the property.
Drone of the property, that requires some stuff, you know?
Requires a little
Part
charge.
107 that you
and
might
then let's
have.
say for the music, let's just call it 20 to 30 stills. Let's just go in the middle.
The whole thing.
Per night, let's just say 25 stills.
25 stills per night for 3 nights.
Okay.
You charge LL how much per show? Are you comfortable sharing?
We'll bleep it out.
You can also bleep it out.
When I was first starting, and we'll get into this because I don't care about sharing the numbers. When I was first starting out, the very first show, I believe they paid me $200, which was EDC.
Nice.
Then they bumped me up to $250, and that was for I think a couple months, which I was getting really underpaid. Then we worked out where I was on salary for $5,000 a month.
Got it. Okay.
I think this video. So we got a video, 3 nights of shooting. There's a lot of shooting.
So let's just do it one at a time. So the video.
The video. Yeah, I'm thinking you charge a couple grand for the video.
Yeah, I'd say normally it's like you get there. I probably say at least $3,000 for the video.
Yeah, I think so, because you're gonna have to spend a whole day filming at least. You're gonna film also other parts of the property every day. You have
to be an audio guy.
To be an audio guy and a gaffer. Yeah, you got to do the whole.
When I hear audio, my price goes up because I don't like doing it.
And then he's got to edit the video, and it's a minute long. He's got to go through the interviews, dude. It's
fucking shit. It might be $4,000.
Couple days of editing these videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I would say 4.
Yeah.
Again, this is without the friends and cool discount.
Yeah. So we're doing 4 with the video, and then like he was saying with these prices of his photos to just shoot like a typical night for the DJs is like $500. Okay.
Right.
So now I'm sitting at like $1,500 for just to shoot.
But he did those photos and videos, right? So I would almost bake the reel into that.
Oh, you're baking the reel into that situation.
No, but there's editing.
But it's editing to the reel. You know,
He just did the clips. Back in the day.
I realistically think in my head, ballpark, this is like $7 or $8,000 of stuff
total
that they're getting.
Yeah. Eight was the number I had in my head right away.
That's a kind of a ballpark that they could get. Now, and then when you have to deduct if he's doing them like a friendly discount and he's going to stay there,
surf,
get to surf and stay there and be at the vibe in the Hamptons.
It's not Omaha.
No, they could get a little 20% discount because they're your good friend.
And that's a going rate, 20%.
They're your good friend.
That's good friend discount.
So now we're at $1,600 off the $8,000 number. And so we're sitting at like $6,400 to do 3 nights of photos. And dude, that's cheap.
They're paying for your flights and stuff?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
They're paying for my flights. They're gonna put me up for, I believe, a full week. And they're
full week?
And they're
So you're there for a minute though.
And food.
Ooh. But because it could go both ways. If I was working on a shoot for a week, I'm charging you up the butt. Mm-hmm. But they're paying you to like vacation for a week.
And he goes, dude, we're going to give you like a Defender to drive around and get a shot.
So here's the thing. Kostas, just make sure you don't miss it. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. That sounds fucking dope. I would say like
do it
$5,000.
for free. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like $5,000.
I would say $5,000 just for
just get it
just
done.
For the headache.
Just for just to go out there and have
just
a great time, dude.
Paid vacation is what it is.
Paid vacation, dude. Shoot some fun stuff. I think it's more than fair.
I would feel good about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a blast. I'm gonna get just like a $5,000. You know, that's nice. That's great.
To come out and hang out. Something I'd want to shoot.
It's a lot of deliverables, but
it is a lot of deliverables.
But you're gonna have some like downtime in the hotel when you could probably just crank it all the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I feel like I'd be sitting.
I told Tilly like this is probably about like a $5,000 thing.
Wow, dude. So, and that's nice of you to say to them.
Yeah,
it is nice. That's a discount.
That's a discount, but it also sounds
super fun, and that you're gonna get fun shit on the portfolio.
You'd have to pay about $5,000 for that experience.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I think that checks out. That's what I would say.
But here's the thing: is like I'm going through Tilly, so I haven't been able to talk to like the owner of like the surf lodge or whatever. So I have no idea what they're like.
Expecting
what their like budget
A1,
is,
bro.
you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
no,
yeah,
I know. Not what
dude.
they're expecting. I don't know. It could be like, honestly, it could be like, oh, we have like $1,500 for this kind of stuff.
Okay.
But then I think, okay, if they come at you like that, I would slash deliverables.
I would slash.
Exactly.
I'd be like, you're not getting drone. We're not doing a fucking interview. You get like one night of filming the shit. Like every time I've ever dealt with like a number, like this was not that long ago. You deal with a number, you send it out, and they're like, hey, we want to do these 27 different things. I'm like, well, that can't happen. You can do 5 of those things.
Right.
And then they get to decide if they want to do it or not, or work with somebody else.
Or you could say like, fuck off. But in this case, you want to do it. So just slash deliverables.
Just slash some delivs.
Okay. Say they were like, we can't move on deliverables. It has to be this much. What number was your minimum that you could get paid to go out there and do this for? You know what I mean? If they come back, you say and they say $4,000, you go and stuff.
I would do it for $4,000.
3?
No,
I'd go 1,500. I'm trying to go to the Hamptons.
I think I'd go $2,000 just because I like to play, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be happy about it, but like I would be happy while I was there.
To go hang with your boys.
But I'd be kicking myself on the back end when I'm like editing at home. Like, God, that was fun, but I'm stuck here for $2,000. But I would probably do 2.
Anyway, so that's fun exercise.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that. I like that.
So get into the music.
Okay, so now we're going to get into more specific genres price breakdown. When it comes to music, what I want you guys to understand is like you get fucked a lot of the times in the music industry.
It's cool.
And because it's cool to shoot and because a lot of kids are willing to do it for cheap, which kind of fucks it for a lot of people. Also, the people that are making really good money in the concert scene are usually contracted with the same artist on tour, or like they're that artist's person. So they've worked out, you're not talking about a day rate, you're talking about on salary. But I would say, another caveat when it comes to the music, a lot of these artists want both photo and video. That's just kind of like the name of the game now. So these prices are kind of like including both photo, video.
Got it. Good to know.
Not raw clips. Like you're not sending like an unedited thing. You're just sending like a
15-second snippet.
Yes.
Okay. That's like colored and stabilized,
yes,
basically.
Exactly.
Got it.
Okay, so for beginner, about 100 to 150. And if you're just getting started, you're probably going to be like, hey, I'll do this for free to build up my portfolio. Intermediate, about 200 to 400. And then a professional, 500 plus. I shot a show this past weekend for Disco Lines, and I charged $500 because I really fuck with Disco Lines, and it's a buddy of mine. His manager is a buddy of mine who I grew up with. I feel like typically if I'm going to shoot some random person right now, a one-off, I would probably charge for both photo video. I would say my rate is anywhere between like $700 to $750. I would say I would feel like comfortable getting paid that. No editing for me. Like I don't ask me to do a recap.
He doesn't like being on the computer.
He's not a big small computer guy.
Yeah. Things to think about when you're going on tour with an artist is travel fee. So typically whatever you're getting paid per show, divide that in half. That's about industry standard. So for, let's say you're like flying out to a new city or whatever, but you're not shooting a show that day, or you're flying back and you're not shooting a show that day, you should get half your show fee. And then per diem, you want to work into your contract getting food, because if you're on the road, obviously you can't cook for yourself.
Per diem is a good thing in the NBA, dude.
Yo, you get the nastiest, I get the shittiest per diem, dude.
They do good per diem.
Yeah, you get sick stuff, dude.
What does someone that's like of the top of the music game maybe make per show? And
yeah, I would say if you're at the top of the game and you're just doing a one-off, I would say like you could probably get around $1,000. I don't know anyone that's getting paid more than $1,000 a show in the music scene for a one-off thing.
Okay. Yeah.
If you have 2 shows in the same day, do you get paid per show?
Yes.
Like if you do a Vegas run, we have like 3 shows, 3 different cities, 3 nights in the same fucking night, you get paid for 3 shows.
Yeah, but because I was on salary, it didn't matter. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, we're doing 17 shows this weekend, dude."
Right. Like, fuck, shouldn't have signed that contract.
Yeah, seriously. For sports, it's a little bit different. You're kind of still getting either paid on like a per game basis if you're not working for the team directly, or you're on salary. And so something to think about here is if you're working for a player specifically, like in college or in the pro level, they're probably just going to have you on salary. I think that that's what would make the most sense to me if I was working for a player, because you're not going to want to do like, and I would also have it to where you're not doing more than a certain amount of fucking things, because they shouldn't be able to call you you gotta have a day off, dude. You can't be like 7 days a week. You don't work for people 7 days a week. And if you have to work for them that much, you're charging them more money. The other one too is like, if you're working for a high school, you got to realize that a high school can only pay you so much money. A regular high school, a private high school, unlimited bread. Okay. And so like, I have people that I've coached and that I've helped, and they're working for like private high schools on a salary, and they're making more than probably the teachers are at that that fucking school, which is crazy to think about. Anyways, you know, they're working though for like a salary wage. They're not working on a per game basis. They're pitching like multiple big deliverables, like a season high finale situation, multiple videos after every game, photos of the game, etc. They're pitching like a lot of stuff. If you're working directly for a parent, you need to make sure that what you're doing benefits like more people than just the singular parent's kid. Okay, like if this is like a wealthier parent and they're at the school, you need to make sure that this content doesn't only like happen if this kid were to get hurt, because I've had people that are like, oh, I'm working for this kid. Well, you tore his fucking ACL. So then the contract is like nulled now, because like you're not going to charge them what you were charging them, right? And you're going to give them their money back if their kid gets hurt. So think about like pitching something to where if you wanted to do high school, a group of parents, hey, 5, 6, 7 of you guys, the studs or whatever of the team, we'll come out to every game and we'll make you guys a little afternoon. It's a good little group situation, giving like a group discount. The other thing,
get Mrs. Johnson involved. Maybe we have a deal.
Exactly, dude.
Something that I actually shot some sports back in the day. I was an old baseball coach of mine. He was Joe Lagana, fucking shout out. Looks just like Ben Roethlisberger. I swear to God. But he's the baseball coach over at Brentwood. And these kids who were trying to get recruited out of high school to like go play colleges, they were trying to get almost like sponsor me tapes, but it's like you're showing off your skill. So it's like, okay, we're going to film you hitting, kind of like Baseball Factory, if you guys are familiar. So we're going to film you either pitching or fielding and hitting. And I don't even remember what we were charging, but that's something that's like a hack. If you get in with these high schools, it's like, hey, you're trying to get recruited. Like I'll make you a video to show these colleges.
I saw a guy that I've talked to in DMs. He charges like a couple $1,000 for like a feature, basically for a kid that's going like a commitment video. And so he'll charge like $3,500 or whatever. The kid's NIL will pay for it, right? Or their agent will pay for it if they already have an agent that early on. Now it's crazy. You could also think about like if you're working with someone that is in high school that's like a top recruit, if they're getting NIL money, they got bread. You could potentially partner with them and say, listen, for every, like you're talking with their agency, you're not talking with them directly. You'd be like, hey, for every brand shoot, you get Raising Cane's, you get Under Armour, whatever. I'm getting 15% to shoot everything, so it all looks uniform, and that way you will in turn attract more clients, like more brands that'll be paying you, and then we both win in this situation.
Which is smart, because if that kid then fucking explodes,
goes to Alabama, boom.
Your NILs are going to be big, and if you can hold on to that 50% contract, dude, you're rich now.
You're kidding me? Come on. So something to think about, especially when you're working with someone in high school that might not, they don't have a lot of money like that, but they might have deals coming in, and you could take a percentage of the deal to work with them on a more consistent basis.
Watch out for kids with glass ankles, dude. If someone filmed me in high school, they would just be out of a job, dude. My ankles are glass, dude. Just hurt all the time. State tennis coming up. Oh, I can't go. Glass ankles.
If you guys want to know about more specific genres within photography and video, hit us up. We're going to be making like a downloadable PDF to give you guys like specific stuff within pricing for different niches.
That'll be on the website, yeah?
Boom. It'll be on the site when it's all done.
505podcast.com?
Yeah, it works.
You know it. I want to talk to you guys a little bit too about how to just be able to charge more for
the goal.
The whole thing, right? And I'm going to hammer into just process. Like that's what separates Little Rock and Big Rocks, is there's a process. They're not just showing up with their camera, their battery's halfway charged. Like they have a very specific way of doing things. You're hopping on good calls. You're getting all this good information from them. You're understanding what it is that they need. Like what are the key performance indicators of the campaign? Does this need to sell stuff? Does it need to just get people on the website? Those are all things that you need to be thinking about. And I'll give you a little bit of a role play right here. Okay, you're a client. Okay,
nice.
You pick it right now. You have 13 seconds to think of what client you want to be.
I'm Adobe.
Oh, great. Yeah. I'm going to eat you up for breakfast, dude. Not. Yeah. Okay. I'm the creator on the other side of this. You're coming with me for a big ass campaign. Okay. That's how we're doing
like
this.
A new premiere live action launch thing.
Hey, Chase. Ring.
What up, dude?
How we doing, man? I just want to see how your day was going.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Getting divorced, but I'll be okay.
Well, this call is going to go better than that divorce. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I always feel good hands with you.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I wanted to hear a little bit more, though, about what this project was that you had emailed me about.
Yeah. So So Premiere is editing. It's editing software, as you probably know.
Premiere.
Have you used Premiere?
A locked in Premiere, dude.
Okay, that's important to us. We actually want someone that knows about the software they're doing. It's Premiere, but it's live production.
Okay.
So you can do multicam production internally. You can fucking shoot stuff with Premiere. It's a whole new campaign. It's wildly expensive. It's beautiful.
Yeah. What do you anticipate are the main deliverables that you want with this campaign?
So we'll need a 10-minute video for Adobe Max.
Okay. For the Max conference.
For the Max conference, it's gonna play for everyone. And then 2 1-minute reels for Instagram to kind of roll it out.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. And then do you anticipate we would shoot this all in LA? You think we'd shoot it at your other offices?
So headquarters in San Francisco, but we do want some textures of LA.
Okay. So we'd shoot a lot in SF, and then I would need to go out with my team. Would you guys be with us in LA?
We would send one client, Joseph, to LA.
Okay.
He's a hard ass.
Okay.
I would watch out for him.
Okay. But it'd be like a lighter day in LA.
And he's going to want a monitor for sure. Remote viewing monitor.
Monitors are my specialty.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with that. Okay, cool. So it's just really the 1 10-minute video and a couple small cut downs.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys have like a budget in mind for this already?
No, we were kind of curious. We're trying to gather bids and see where the different production companies kind of come in.
I mean, Chase, I'm feeling the whole 9 yards on this one. It's going in front of Adobe Max. Like I'm in my head, I'm sitting somewhere around like 150 to 115 ish. Does that kind of sound like somewhere in the ballpark?
Yeah. And do you have an option that would maybe get us like even better stuff?
Oh, dude, we could go upwards of 250, 300K, 350K.
I'm imagining like crane shots.
Chase, if you want cranes, dude, I have the DP for you. This guy's very fucking particular though, and he only uses a crane. So I think I'm sitting anywhere though. I think from the sounds of it, I think we're at 250. It's to get this thing done the right way from the Adobe way.
The Adobe way is high quality, high perseverance at all times.
Premiere, some might say.
I just got called. Nice. Well done. You just bought yourself $5,000. I think the CFO said to cap it at 150.
Okay.
But I am intrigued, and I am.
Chase, sorry to cut you off. What if we do this? What if I send you 2 bids, one for 150, one for the big Grand Slam, 250?
If you can give me something to show to my boss that it would be better.
What's his name?
Henry,
dude, let me tell you what we'll show Henry something, dude. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to work with my project manager. We're going to get this all cranked up. Next steps are we're going to send you 2 proposals. Nice. One for the little Iraq one for the hammer.
Oh, nice. We do like hammers here at Adobe.
Yeah, I know. And we're going to send that to you next Wednesday. How's that sound?
Yes.
And let's plan for a follow-up call maybe on Friday.
Yeah. And if you could work over the weekend, that'd be fantastic.
Chase, I love working over the weekend. Anything for Adobe, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, man.
Fuck yeah.
That was great. Come on. Dude, you did a really good job.
You paid yourself a lot of money, my friend. It's a little bit of a pushover, but I got excited.
We were cranes, dude.
Right.
We were throwing cranes out there, dude.
That was lit.
That was fun.
We should do more role play on this podcast.
Dude, I'm a slut for some role play.
Nice, dude. Should we go to improv class as a business expense for the 505?
I would love to go to improv class, dude.
Did I tell you that on my birthday, me and Kat and her parents went to an improv class?
That's so fun.
But we didn't realize, I thought it was just a comedy show. It was improv, and then they made us go on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I did a little improv.
Oh, that's funny,
I'm
dude.
a natural.
Yeah, dude. When we met, we were doing some improv. It kind of worked out.
That was really good. You were really good at like coming up with stuff as
you're
the
a beast.
guy.
You're a beast.
I was just trying to keep up.
Good client, dude. Good client.
I'm trying to be a good client.
Come on.
I'll give you timely feedback, dog.
No, yeah. I'll tell you guys a few things that'll like allow you to just charge more. Okay. So like when you're starting out, you get on the phone, you just throw out a number. You're no longer going to do that once you really want to start to make a little bit of bread. And so what I did when I was starting out is I would package these things. So you'd have like 3 packages, and I'd have bronze, silver, gold. Nice. And so I personally at the time wanted to sell more of the middle package. So I would make the small package pretty shitty. It'd be pretty desolate down there. It'd be like a fucking desert. Right. Middle package would be pretty cool. It'd be like what I wanted them to charge. And I would separate the bottom number and my high number pretty far away from the middle number. Because I wanted you to be looking at the middle number and be like, this one's really cool. We can afford this number. Right. That's what I would kind of send off. And in this deck, I'd have it be like 10 pages. I'd have like who we are, what we do, what we're about. And then I'd have the 3 package breakdown and then next steps.
That's so smart.
Pretty much how it would go.
And the high price is always like I don't want them to choose that because it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of bags.
Right.
So maybe I can bring on some other people, and like I might not be happy because it's a lot of work, but bags.
And you also, if you want to sell more of the tip top dog, you would put that middle number closer to your bigger number. So they're sitting there looking at it and they're like, well, for
why not just
15% more, we can get the big hammer, dude. If you guys go to like Yogurtland does this really well. They have like a small, medium, large, and you'll look at those prices, you'll be like, well, damn, the large is low key just like a little bit more than the medium.
All I wanted was a medium.
Dude, we're going to the Heimer tonight, bro. They're gonna say medium popcorn. I'm gonna say medium, and they think they can get me. I'm gonna say fuck no. I don't want that extra $1. But it's just like 59 or like 80 cents. Everyone says upgrade to the large drink because it's
really
just an extra $1 for you. You know,
dude. Cold Stone, like it, love it, gotta have it. You gotta have it, dude.
Yeah, and that's what you need your clients. They gotta have it.
You gotta have it.
Another thing, or two other things, as far as being able to charge more. Sometimes clients will ask for your raw footage or raw photos. I was actually talking to our good buddy Skylar Wagner about this. I've never personally sold my raw photos. I've never had a client ask for raw photos. However, he said that he was charging about $1 per raw.
Smart.
Or about like whatever your day rate is, you charge that for the raws as well. So let's say you're making $1,000 for your day rate to shoot something. If you want my raws, $1,000 as well. He also was incorporating into his contract that if they bought his raws, they have to hire him to edit the raws.
Flex.
Dude, the kid, he went from living in the car to fucking running this
charging
town.
for raws.
You love to see it.
Come
that
on,
guy rocks,
Sky, let's
dude.
go, baby.
And then rush fees.
Rush fees is important.
Rush fees big, dude.
If it's a Friday and I hear, we need first cut by Monday, I do this. Yeah, we can do that. It's gonna cost a little bit more. I'm gonna have to rush, but you gotta be like, fuck. And also because I don't want to do it over the weekend at all. Dude. So I'm gonna charge you more. Again, it's all I just charge based on how much I want to do something. Really.
What you can't charge a rush fee for though is music because they need the photos in the morning.
It's implied.
It's implied.
All right,
you're getting no sleep.
They want it next day. I mean, I think that really wraps us in a bow here. Dude.
Again, look for the fucking PDF of
it's gonna be
of all the genres.
It's gonna be coming out. We got some great stuff on weddings, on sports, on concerts, dude. We got events. We got the whole 9 yards for you. It'll be coming out soon, so be on the lookout for it. But if you like this, dude, please fucking smash the subscribe button, dude. Give us a like. Smash the sub. Hit a like. 68% of you guys still aren't subscribed, and we'll see you guys all for episode 72 of the 555. Peace.
Peace.